Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Real Reds Talk, an authentic football fan channel made in Manchester. This is the preview for the Chivy Derby, as we'd like to call it here on this channel. Man United versus Arsenal. A very quick turnaround from the game yesterday, and this is just basically the start of a chunky December fixture list. Is this the real test now, Sam? We put it on the thumbnail. But so far under Amorim, we played Ipswich, Bodo Glimt, and Everton, which two teams near the bottom of the table, and one team that's like 50th in the coefficient ranks. So this is the big one, isn't it?
Yeah, the titans of football that are Bodo Glimt, who don't think I could name a player, and I've watched them play. And Everton and Ipswich. So yeah, this is the first big team that he's come up against. We saw in the Ten Hag's first sort of period, he lost to Brentford and Brighton, who I would say are better teams than the three we've played so far.
Oh yeah.
So he suffered then, obviously, but he made a turnaround against Liverpool. So there is that. I think Arsenal are in a better groove than we are at this point in time. I think they've got players back. I think they're looking better than they have in previous times. This is not like City where everything seems to be falling apart. This seems to be in a good spot. Absolutely thrashed Amarin's former team in Sporting. So yeah, it's going to be a difficult game for Ruben Amorim.
Should we expect plenty of rotation again? Because when you look at the lineup against Everton, I think there was quite a few shocks in there. I mean, Xerxes starting after Rasmus had just scored 2 on Thursday was a big shock to me. You had Mainu who started, but obviously he's not going to be available for this game. So are you expecting heavy rotation or just kind of the odd tweak?
Well, I saw the quotes and he's mentioned Lenny Yoro saying possibly being in the squad. So could we expect him to start? He's been...
Would you start him?
I wouldn't, because it's his first game. That's a hell of a thing to chuck him into, isn't it, Arsenal? So I wouldn't. But I hopefully see him on the bench and get some minutes. That would be nice. I'd like to see that. Well, I mean, we'll get into 11s later, but obviously we're going to be forced into changes at the back because Leacher is suspended as well. Kobe Mainoo's suspended as well. I would expect Højlund to come back into this. I wouldn't expect Xerxes to start again. So there's 3 changes off the top of my head. So whether you say that's like over rotation, I don't know. But I think there's a couple of players who I think will definitely be in the team, and then everything else I think is up for grabs, really.
That's why I think the most fascinating part is the makeup of the team, who he's going to put in there and for what reasons, and we'll try to explore that tactically as we talk about Arsenal as well. Because I mean, dealing with Ødegaard and Saka, Sam, they're the ones I'm looking at. I'm like, how do you shut that side down? What would you do personally to cut them off or try cut them off?
I think the answer is probably Mazraoui and Shaw, in it, on that left hand side. That's how you would do it, I would say. I think Luke Shaw left centre back, if he is fit, I think he can do that job there, and I think he's got more defensive sort of nous, and I think he's not going to rush out the way Leacher tends to do on that side and leave those gaps. And I think Mazraoui has got more defensive mindset, playing as a left wing back. And I think he could get up and down and provide stuff going forward, but also get back defensively to help Shaw out. And like, if he's marking Ødegaard, he can mark Saka or vice versa, fill in for those gaps. So I think that's what I would do on that, because they're going to operate on that, our left, their right hand side, aren't they? Saka and Ødegaard. That's where they're going to operate in that space. So that's how I would set it up. And I think you're probably going to have to do Igate in that midfield, just to sort of make sure you've got somebody who's going to break up play in that middle of that park, who's going to chase after balls, get tackles in, break stuff up. I think they're sort of players I would definitely look at playing.
Yeah, we saw when we did the post-match review, there's people saying it could be a blessing in disguise about Lissandro not playing there potentially.
Yeah.
Which I don't like saying, because I do like him, but I just think in that left centre back role it's definitely something to keep an eye on. I suppose if there's any kind of positives you're trying to pull from it. I mean, Amorim has beat Arteta before with Sporting Lisbon. I think he's beaten him a couple of times. If I'm
he beat him he beat him last year, didn't he? Did it go to penalties? They go to penalties, I think.
I think it was Goncalves. Was it Goncalves who scored a mad goal from the halfway line or something? I think it was, and knocked him out basically, didn't they? So maybe you could take something from that if you want. Obviously, Arsenal's a slightly different team now. They're starting to bounce back into form. But even if we beat Arsenal, we go 2 points behind them. Yeah, and they're in second.
Yep. Like
I'm not saying we will, but
no, this league's so weird, isn't it? Like we've got a draw and a win, and we're 5 points, 4 points off top four.
yeah.
Like that's mad. That's absolutely mad. And we were in 14th position, 13th position, and now we're like in the top 10, and we're like 4 points off top four. If we beat Arsenal, like you said, we're 2 points off of them. Did we go above City at that point?
I'm sure we'd be close to it. I'm
That's what
sure.
I mean. Which is just insane when you look at the start of our season. You think we're not getting anywhere near top four, but theoretically, again, like you, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but theoretically, like you, if we beat them, we can get closer to top four, which is we were all saying a couple of weeks ago. It's not going to happen, but in reality, if we beat him, it's a reality.
They'll start talking about it again, but I'm sure, like much like yourself, like we won't get carried away and talk about top four and all that because we know what this.
He's gonna lose games, Amarim. Like he's not gonna go through the season now and just win every game. Like, it's just not gonna happen. So he's gonna lose games at some point, and that's where you're gonna trip up. Whereas like Liverpool are not losing games. Arsenal have done their little bit of a sort of shaky period, and now they seem to be kicking on. City are in their shaky period right now. So I think at some point, Amarin is going to have a period where he loses a few games, and I think that is still to come yet.
I think you could see that in when he did his post-match presser. He was saying against Bodo, it was 3-2, but we felt like we deserved more. But then against Everton, we scored 4, but it was like Everton was the first 30, 35 minutes. They was well in the game. And had quite a lot of chances, but obviously couldn't finish the dinner. So I think he's approaching with caution with that one, because if it's like a 3-4-0 win against Arsenal, you reset then, and then the media's back on your back, and so he's almost preempting it a little bit. I thought in his presser, which it's kind of understandable, I suppose. More and more people joining the live stream. Please let us know your thoughts on the game. Are you nervous? Are you confident? We've got Macmillan saying Arsenal are a titan, winners of all trophies under the sun every year. I love that banter straight off the bat. Random guys in had the longest day of my life today. 8-5, 1 less hour than an actual job. Well, you're not explaining what it is you're doing. If it's
studying. Isn't he studying something?
Yeah. I think he passed his degree or something, his medical degree or something, because we were asking for advice, weren't we?
Oh, yeah.
But look, what better way to nullify that long day with listening to us for half an hour? You know what I mean? Yeah. Sorted. Evening all, this is from T2. I don't have high hopes for this Arsenal match. Pity we couldn't have played them in the form they were in a few weeks ago. Yeah, that would have been nice.
I mean, we've got City coming up, so that could be a good period to play.
Careful.
City, do you know what I mean?
Careful, yeah. Could also be the worst, because if they start to bounce back and we're on the receiving end of it, it's not going to be good. But, I mean, this month alone, I was looking before, in December, we play Spurs, City, Arsenal, and Newcastle. And then we play Liverpool at the start of the year at Anfield.
Yeah. And so you look at that, like, you think, like we said, City are in all sorts of trouble. Like, what happens there? Yeah. Spurs are a toss-up. We could get absolutely battered by Spurs, or we could absolutely batter them. Like, that could go either way. Newcastle are up and down as well, aren't they? Like, they got absolutely tanned by West Ham, and then drew 1-1 at Crystal Palace. And then so it's like there's a lot of sort of games where you're like, I don't know how any of them go. Like, I really don't.
Yeah. Well, we touched on Arsenal there, and I want to dive into them a little bit. Had a very, very rocky start, as we were just alluding to. Red cards galore, injuries, left, right, and centre. But obviously, the past couple of games, they've started to bring it back. They've won 3, drawn 1, and lost 3, scoring 14 goals, conceding 5. And I think they'll drop 12 points behind Liverpool if they lose to us in this game, which could be huge. I mean, them being 12 points behind and then City being 11 points behind as well.
Yep.
That's a big, big gap to recover. So obviously they won't want that to happen. Like, the timing's not great, is it? Do you think we're playing them at the wrong time, Arsenal?
Yeah, probably. You would have liked it a couple of weeks ago, wouldn't you, when Odegaard was injured and they weren't able to score any goals and they were struggling and stuff like that. That's probably when you wanted to do it. But Odegaard back in the team, it looks like they're absolutely flying. He pulls all the strings. Saka looked excellent at the weekend. Looked really, really good. So yeah, they are a problem team. I still think you can get at them at the back. I think there's some question marks there. Ben White's obviously out, isn't he?
Yep.
And you've got Calafiori's come back, but he's not looked great at the left centre back position. He's looked a bit sort of shaky there, so I think you can get him. I think David Raya is a very good goalie. He's got to make some great saves, so there's another sort of tricky position. So yeah, there's weaknesses there, but again, you look at that forward line and you think they're going to score against you, and that's where it's going to kill you. And I think we need to be absolutely on it defensively, and we've conceded stupid goals against Bodo Glint, and that worries me.
Well, I look at the space Everton had in the first half, and I'm like, you give Arsenal that time, they will murder you. Not only that, I think they're so good at set pieces, which they scored again against West Ham. Gabriel for set pieces, just deadly, man. Him and Saliba. Do you think that might sway Amarin's choice of players? So he was talking about the Rashford set piece after the game, and he was saying, we know we've got a very small team, so we have to be creative. Do you think, remember when Ollie, when we was playing Burnley or something, he'd play Matic and McTominay, wouldn't he? Do you think he might bring that into consideration when picking his team?
Yeah, well, you got Delict. He's a unit in it. He's a big lad, like stocky and stuff like that. Mazraoui's quite a tall guy. And then apart from that, you sort of look, like you said, they're all quite sort of, maybe Højlund, but it's like he's more attacking thing. So yeah, then apart from that, Igate's not that tall, Casemiro's not that tall, Shaw's not that tall. So yeah, there's some worries there. I think getting height on crosses and stuff like that, you've just sort of, I suppose you've got to do your best to sort of not give him any corners or not give away any stupid free kicks on the edge of the box, which I think we've had an issue with. Like Bruno likes to do that, Dallo likes to do that. There's been a couple of players who'd like to sort of just give away free kicks in really dangerous positions. So I think you've got to try and mitigate that as much as possible. I'm hoping he goes more pragmatic for it, because I think that would suit us a bit more. Not sort of try and aggressively press out from the back and leave space in behind for like likes of Saka or space for Odegaard to play a ball into, etc. Like, I don't want to see that.
More of what he was doing against Man City in the Champions League.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas with that, I get what you're saying. With that, there's a little bit where if City would have finished a couple of their chances, at the start of the game, if they can limit him to chances and play like that, then I'm okay with it. But if we're getting battered, and
that's the key in it. You've got to limit the chances, and when you do have possession, don't waste it. Like, no sloppy passes, no sort of giving away possession in stupid areas, that kind of stuff, which you saw a lot in this, like you said, the first half against Everton. We're just giving possession away all over the pitch and stupid passes and that kind of stuff. So you need to be like absolutely on it.
Well, one thing, if it is Cass and Ugarte in the middle, Casemiro, that first time pass in behind, I think that's one thing to look out for. With if Rashford starts or Højlund, I think that's one way you can get at him.
Out to the right hand side.
Yeah. So I think it is interesting tactical battle and see how it plays out. I just want to go into the game and just be competitive and make it look like it's very, very close. If Arsenal get away with a win, I think you can be respectable and say, look, Arsenal are in a better place than us at the moment. Obviously second in the league. They've had much longer time with Arteta. I mean, Amarin's had about fucking 14 days with the team. He's had 6 years. So there's a realism about going into this, and there's a realistic expectation to say, like, we're not going to go there and batter them. If we go out with a win, it'd be a big surprise to a lot of people. But at least be competitive. Don't give away any silly fucking mistakes.
Good performance. That's what you want.
Yeah,
you want
good performance. That's what we want. Yeah. Who are the ones to watch for you in this game, Sam? One from Arsenal, one from Manchester United.
The obvious ones are Odegaard and Saka, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know how good they are.
Saka, 5 goals and 10 assists in the league this year.
Consistent as well, Saka. Every year shows up, does the job, assists, goals. And he's a likable guy as well.
Yeah,
likable. So yeah, I can't hate on him at all. Like, I can't say like, there's nothing about him where I'd be like, yeah, I hate it, so I hate that. Yeah, there's nothing. So yeah, I all I can do is give him some praise. And Odegaard, very similar, very silky on the ball, extremely good passer. He's the captain. He was at Madrid for a reason. They rated him very highly, and I thought Arsenal did really, really well to get what they get for like 30 million or something like that. It's quite cheap, wasn't it? So turns out to be an absolute bargain. So yeah, those two are extremely dangerous. You have to make sure they are not influential on the game at all if you're going to stand any chance of getting something from this. Yeah, they worry me. They're the big sort of worry spots. United, you've got to sort of look at whoever's playing in that top line. We seem to be certain players seem to be ticking, especially against Everton. You saw Rashford with 2 goals. You saw Xerxes with 2 goals. Then you see Ahmad with 2 assists. Bruno with 2 assists. Whatever combination you got, Højlund got goals and assists against Bodo Glint. So you see all that forward line is starting to purr, starting to tick. So whatever combination you've got there, they need to be on it and clinical, because like you said, we're not going to get that many chances, I don't think. But when we do get that counter attack or that chance, they have to take it. They have to be clinical and put it in the back of the net, because how many times did Ten Hag say that thing about Garnacho being offside and it costing us that goal and stuff like that? Like, that's the kind of thing you don't want to regret. You don't want to regret how you had all these opportunities, you hit the bar or whatever and stuff like that, and you didn't put it in the back of the net. So I think we need to be clinical. So whatever forward line combination we're going to go for, they need to put it in the back of the net when you get those opportunities.
Well, we'll dive into our predicted 11 shortly, and we'll give the reasonings as to why we chose certain individuals. But I do think that's going to have a big say on how the game plays out. If I see the starting lineup and let's say Evans is at left centre back or Maguire's there, the little things like that, it won't fill me with confidence.
Evans can't play there. You can't. You just can't.
No. Right, 5 quick fire questions. Then I'll get involved with it. Make sure you guys in the chat do as well, whether you watch this live or later on. Will Manchester United score?
Yes.
I think we might get 1. Would any current Man United players get in Arsenal's team?
I think Mazraoui would.
I think Onana would. I think Onana's been the best keeper in the league.
He's definitely he's been fantastic. Yeah, I think it's Mazraoui. Ahmad, did he get in over Saka, you think? No. Yeah,
I love Ahmad, as next person, but
Mazraoui. I think Mazraoui's been probably the only one.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of anyone else.
Nobody's not over Saliba.
No one over Gabriel.
Bruno over Odegaard.
No.
Havertz.
But Bruno's bouncing back. To be fair, like at the minute he's looking all right. So it's not. He definitely won't get in, but on form, the way Odegaard could have got player of the season last year for me. So he's unbelievable. I think that's probably fair.
I think if Ugarte carries on the way he's been going, he could displace Partey in that team. I think the way Ugarte's going, I think he's starting to sort of get to the point where you're like, he's going to be a really influential player.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Again, same questions to the chat. Let me know. Who starts at left centre back?
Shaw.
I want Shaw there. I just have a feeling he's not. I don't know why. I just have a feeling he's not going to play him there. I don't know who he will put there, but we'll save that for the thing. Yeah. Will Arteta ever win a Premier League title or a Champions League?
No.
Prediction for man of the match, and I don't think he will either.
We're not saying Mazraoui.
No, that's banned in it.
Okay.
It's like a red flag on the thing.
Okay. Ahmad.
Yeah, it's got to be Ahmad, isn't it? It's got to be Ahmad. It's just an obvious one. I was going to go for a bit of a niche one, but we'll change it. Predicted 11s. Who's going first?
Go on, you go first.
You go first. Right. This is one of the more difficult ones, and I think a lot of people feel the same in the chat because a lot of the comments are saying predicted lineup, no idea. Probably going to go with something that no one expects. So I actually don't know what he's going to go with, but this is what I'm going to go with. What I would pick. So I'll go Onana, Mazraoui, De Ligt, and Shaw as your back three. I'd be pretty comfortable going into a game with that. Ahmad is just a guaranteed because he's been phenomenal. Ugarte and Casemiro because Mainu isn't available. So that is going to be your midfield partnership. I can't see it any other way. Maybe a Mount or Bruno will drop in there, but I doubt it, just given the nature of the way Arsenal play. I think Dalot will keep his place at wing back. And then, the front three. Bruno, Højlund, Rashford. I think because Rashford's record against Arsenal's phenomenal. He's just starting to peacock a little bit, isn't he, Rashford? So I think it'll keep him in for that. Rasmus to get him behind, and Bruno for the creativity and experience up top. But it's difficult, isn't it, Sam?
Yeah, my 11 is just based on sort of probability rather than any sort of valid information. Onana, and I'm going to change from you. I think it's going to be Maguire in the middle, De Ligt on the right hand side, Shaw on the left hand side. I think Mazraoui goes at left wing back. I think Ahmad's at right wing back. midfield, Ugarte, Casemiro, and then I think it'll be Bruno and Mount to press and sort of do that dogged work with Højlund up top.
So Rashford not in your team?
No.
Wow, that's interesting. Delete on that right hand side though. If Martinelli's playing on the left, he's gonna get cut.
I just think
cut.
I don't want Mazraoui in the centre back thing. I want him as a wing back. I think he'd be more effective covering that channel with Shaw against Odegaard and Saka. I think that's where he's going to be the most effective.
Interesting.
Again, that's probability, but again, I could see Rashford in that team. I could see your team happening. I could see Garnacho starting at wing back. I could see a bunch of different stuff because honestly, he's rotated so much and changed so many different things.
Yeah.
I honestly couldn't sort of say this is definitely what he's going to do. Like with Ten Hag, we knew what was going to happen. With Amorim, I really don't know.
Maybe that's a bit of an advantage though, because Arteta might be thinking the same. He's like, I don't know who's going to start in this game. Yeah. You know, it's a bit of a question mark in it, a bit of a thingy. Yep. So, yeah, maybe we can use that to our advantage. T2 saying good luck predicting the starting 11. Yeah. Random guy, big up, was just bantering. Yes, Maz, Onana, and I don't rate Havertz. You're not the only one. We got Arsenal in the FA Cup. Have we?
What? Get this shit.
United got. I've not seen anything like that. I don't think the draw's been done yet.
FA Cup. Oh yeah, no, there it is. Man United will face Arsenal at the Emirates, third round of the FA Cup.
Oh wow. Well, it says. Oh shit. No way. Well, that's what game? When's that game?
I don't know. They put a date on it. Excuse me.
Interesting. It's a tough game that for an FA Cup. Yeah. That's the first game of the FA Cup in it for us.
Yeah, third round. So.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's gonna be a sticky one. Mazza would pocket him. Hope Mount and Ahmad on the right. The way Mount likes to drift wide when play at 10 on the right will open so much space for Ahmad to run into, and Ahmad will play Mount in for underlapping runs. Yep. Rashford scores a lot of important goals in big games. Dalot versus Saka is a big concern, although he did well on the opposite side against Salah. Ndiaye dribbled past him once or twice. I think this was into Maz. Xerxes at the false 9, like he did against Everton, I think could be smart against Arsenal as well. Onana for man of the match. Xerxes still needs minutes.
I hope Onana's not man of the match. I really don't.
It could be a battle of both keepers. You know, Raya might have to make a couple of good saves. I'm enjoying the fact we can't predict the team. Yeah. You make a great point, Drew Cushman. You do, because under Ten Hag, it'd be the stale kind of. We know what he's going to do. We know he's going to play. We know we'd like to change this, but he's probably not going to change this. So
we'd love to see Ahmad play, but we know he's not going to play.
Right. Having said that, do you want to go with your prediction first? Because yours might be a bit nicer than mine.
I don't think it will be, but yeah. I think 2-1 Arsenal.
Yeah, yours is nicer than mine.
Oh, is it really? You think battering?
Yeah. No, not battering. Unless you count this as battering. I think 3-1. That's what I've gone with. Okay. I think the game could be tight, could be quite close, and then it gets away from us the last 10 minutes, 15 minutes. You know, as we're pushing for a goal, I can just see it going like that. I think maybe 1-1 for a bit. You know, Saka gets one or Odegaard, and then we're chasing, and 90th to 93rd minute or something, they get one.
I think we score first. And we get momentums with us and stuff like that.
On.
I think they equalise at some point in the first half, and then the second half it's just going to be like a battle, and then they'll get a winner. That'll be it. It'll be very deflating.
Yeah, like we said though, I think the main thing taken away from this preview is we just want like a performance. You know what I mean? Yes. We want to be competitive. We don't, because you know what Arsenal fans are like. Never hear the fucking end of it, mate. To beat us, even though we're in the worst kind of stage at the moment with the manager just coming in.
Like of all the teams that could win the Premier League, Arsenal are like the least offensive, but the fans, I can't do it. Like just having to listen to the fans declare themselves the best Premier League team ever because they won a title. It's just not. I can't do it. But then you think City is shit, and if Arsenal don't win it, it means Liverpool do, and that makes me want to kill myself. So it's just not a good option either way you look at it.
No. Have you seen that league owner before? He's like the most negative Arsenal fan you've ever seen in your life. He just moans about everything, and he's been calling us shit all week. I watched him against Bodo; they were fucking shit. I watched him against City. If we don't smash them on Wednesday, I swear to God, da da da. Please, if there is a God out there, if we beat Arsenal, even if it's the scruffiest goal ever, I will fucking take it.
It's even better if it's like that, because then they're just going to be annoyed. If it's like a really shit decision, like VAR or something like that, and they're really fucked off about it, that'd be even better, just to watch them melt down. That'd be fantastic. I just think.
But it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? Because if they lose, the gap to Liverpool then, like we were saying before, is 12, 13 points, which means Liverpool wins the league, or it's more likely for them to win the league. And I'm like, I don't know. It's just But is it Gary Neville who said it's like being asked to kick in the balls or slap in the face or something?
Yeah, it's like being asked which pick a person to shag your wife. Like,
basically.
Either way, it's not going to be good, is
None.
it?
And
then, but yeah, it would be good, like, if we do win, to get Chivy on the review, because I think he might be the happiest man on the planet if that happens.
I think so. Yeah, and he's not doing the review if we lose either.
No,
if we lose badly,
he's not.
It is no chance he comes on here. Not a fucking prayer. So get your prayer emojis in for Chivy. And yeah, I look forward to the game. Just before, on a more serious note, just before I head off, Stretford Paddock announced on their channel before that Abdullah, who was on the channel, has passed away, and he'd been a part of full-time Devils since like the fan camps. Like, he'd been there for ages. I've met him a couple of times, interacted with him, you know, like they said, one of the kindest, most passionate souls you could meet, and found out the news before whilst he was on a live stream, which is just like absolutely crazy. So I just wanted to send my thoughts, and I'm sure Sam feels the same as well. To die so young, I mean, it's just sad, isn't it, Sam?
Yeah, just rest in peace to him. Like, I didn't meet him, but obviously I've watched Paddock like for a long time, so I know who he is, and he seemed like a great man. Condolences to his family. I hope they come together and sort of support each other through this, because I don't know how old he was, but he was in his 20s, his 30s.
I'm sure he's younger than me.
He might, yeah. I'm sure it's no age to go at that age. Like, it's not nice. But yeah, condolences to Paddock, condolences to his family. Like, yeah, horrible.
Yeah, it's one of those moments in it where you like, it gives you a bit of a reality call and wake up. And you're like, to die that young in a similar space, like it's it's devastating, man. So I wish all his family the best, and hopefully he has a good send off. So yeah, didn't want to end on a sad note, but I just wanted to kind of send my respect and condolences.
Absolutely.
So yeah, rest in peace, Abdullah. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow, guys. We'll speak to you then. See you in a bit.
Peace.